Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss how to investigate the effect of varying light intensity on the process of photosynthesis. That means if there's any change in the amount of light given to the plant, then how it's going to affect the rate of photosynthesis in that particular plant. Now, in order to perform this experiment, you require a very basic setup. You need a beaker, okay? You need funnel, then you need any water plant like hydrilla or Canadian pondweed. Then you require a test tube, okay? And this entire experimental setup can be arranged as it's shown here in the picture. Fine. Now, in order to perform photosynthesis, plants always require a proper light source, okay? So here in this experiment, we will use a light source which is actually this table lamp, okay? Because in this experiment, we are actually investigating the effect of changing light intensity on the rate of photosynthesis, okay? So with the help of this table lamp, we can easily change the amount of light which is provided to this hydrilla plant for the process of photosynthesis, okay? Sunlight cannot be used because there we cannot decrease or increase the intensity of light provided to the plant, but by using this table lamp we can do that, okay? So that's the reason we are using here table lamp. So remember, whenever we perform any experiment, we always have three types of variable in the experiment: independent variable, dependent variable, and controlled variable. Controlled variables are always kept constant. Remember, okay? Controlled variables are always kept constant, hence they can also be called constant variables, okay? Now in this experiment, as we're investigating the effect of changing light intensity, so here the change in light intensity or the distance of lamp is actually your independent variable, okay? That means this variable is not affected by any other variable which is present in this experiment. You can see here we have placed a glass tank filled with water in between the table lamp and this entire experimental setup, okay? So the reason of placing this glass tank with water is this table lamp actually is the light is produced because of the electric current, okay? And you have studied in physics in heating effects of electric current, that electric current, whenever it passes through a conductor, okay, or a simple metal, so because of the resistance of metal, it always produces heat. So this table lamp along with light is also producing heat, okay? So this heat actually should not change, or it should not actually increase the temperature of water present in the beaker around this water plant. Fine. If there will be any increase in the temperature, what will happen? We will not get fair results, okay? So this entire heat which is produced by this table lamp will be absorbed by the water which is present in the glass tank here, okay? So that's the reason we are using glass tank filled with water, because water absorbs the heat produced by the table lamp. Now apart from that, the temperature of this water present in the beaker, okay, is a controlled variable. Fine. Then the photosynthesizing aquatic plant, that is the number of plants used in taking every reading, okay? So here you can see two plants are used, okay? So the number of plants used or the type of plant used in taking all the readings should be same, okay? What do I mean by all the readings is, right now the table lamp is kept at, you can see here ruler, okay? So right now the table lamp is kept here at 0 centimeter, okay? And then you have to move this table lamp forward, okay? So when you are taking reading at 0 centimeter, and then when you're taking reading at 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120 centimeters, so while taking all these readings, you should use the same photosynthesizing aquatic plant, okay? You should not increase the number of plants, or you should not change the type of plant which you have used here, okay? So this photosynthesizing aquatic plant is also a control variable. Then we have here water with sodium hydrogen carbonate, okay? In this water, we have actually also added sodium hydrogen carbonate. Apart from sodium hydrogen carbonate, you can also use potassium hydrogen carbonate, because this is a source of carbon dioxide gas. the water which we are using here is normal tap water. This is not pond water. So in tap water, the amount of carbon dioxide present is very less. Okay. And this plant requires continuous supply of carbon dioxide gas in order to perform photosynthesis. While taking readings, okay, carbon dioxide gas should not become a limiting factor. Hence, what we have done, we have added here sodium hydrogen carbonate or potassium hydrogen carbonate, because this salt, when dissolves in water, it produces carbon dioxide gas which gets dissolved in this water. Okay. And so remember, temperature, then photosynthesizing plant, and sodium hydrogen carbonate, that is the amount of sodium hydrogen carbonate added, should be kept constant. Okay. For example, in at 0 centimeter, if you're adding 1 gram of or just 0.5 gram of sodium hydrogen carbonate, so the same amount of salt should be used at every centimeter. Same temperature should be maintained at every centimeter throughout the experiment. Okay, and same type of plant or same number of aquatic plants should be used at every centimeter. So these are your control variables. Okay, and light intensity or the distance of lamp from the setup is actually your independent variable. And when the plant will perform photosynthesis, so we are aware that in the process of photosynthesis, plant always produces oxygen gas. Okay, so this oxygen gas which is produced or which will be produced during the process of photosynthesis here is actually is released in the form of oxygen bubbles or in the form of air bubbles. Okay, and this entire oxygen gas gets collected here on the top of the test tube. So these oxygen bubbles which are produced as the process of photosynthesis occurs is your dependent variable. So the production of these oxygen bubbles actually shows that photosynthesis is taking place. Okay, so if more number of oxygen bubbles are produced, that means the rate of photosynthesis is high or it is fast. And if less number of oxygen bubbles are produced, that means the rate of photosynthesis is low or it is less. Okay. So remember, here in this picture you can see we have actually moved this table lamp from 0 centimeter to 20 centimeter. Okay, so the position of table lamp is changed. Further, you can keep this table lamp at 40, then 60, 80, 100, or maybe 120 centimeters. Okay, and at every centimeter, at least take 2 readings. Okay, count the number of oxygen bubbles produced in 1 minute and take this type of reading at least for 2 minutes at every centimeter. Okay, and then you can find out the average of these 2 readings. Okay, to get the mean value. Okay, to get the mean number of oxygen bubbles produced at every centimeter. Okay. Now, as the process of photosynthesis occurs, oxygen gas is produced and can be seen as bubble leaving the cut end of the pond feed. Okay, the number of bubbles produced over a minute can be counted to record the rate of photosynthesis. The more bubbles produced per minute, the faster the rate of photosynthesis. So remember this point, the more bubbles produced per minute, the faster the rate of photosynthesis. Okay, and here we are adding sodium hydrogen carbonate. Why we are adding sodium hydrogen carbonate? Because sodium hydrogen carbonate is a good source of carbon dioxide. Okay, the water which is used in this experiment around the plant is tap water, and tap water lacks carbon dioxide gas, and carbon dioxide gas is important for the process of photosynthesis. Fine. You can see here when the table lamp is present at 0 centimeter, maybe the number of bubbles produced were 30. Okay. Now when table lamp was present at 20 centimeter, the number of bubbles produced were 42. As it goes further, at 40 centimeter, maybe it was 56. Okay, at 60 centimeter, it was 64. Okay, at 80 centimeters, it was 85, something like that. Okay, so you can make out that as this table lamp is moving forward, okay, as this table lamp is moving forward, the amount of light which was provided to this plant Okay, the amount of light which was provided to aquatic plant for the process of photosynthesis was increased. So you can say as the table lamp was moving forward towards the experimental setup, the light intensity was increasing. So what will happen as the light intensity increases, you can make out the number of oxygen bubbles produced were also increased. That means as the light intensity increased, the number of oxygen bubbles produced were increased, and hence the rate of photosynthesis was also increased. Okay, the rate of photosynthesis also increased. But remember, these number of oxygen bubbles will increase only up to a certain distance. Okay, only up to a certain point. Maybe after 80 centimeter, what happened at 100 and 120 centimeters, the number of oxygen bubbles produced were like around 86 or 89, something like that. So it was almost kept constant. That means the number of oxygen bubbles produced after 80 centimeters were almost same. Okay, so the number of oxygen bubbles produced were constant. Okay, that means the process of photosynthesis or the rate of photosynthesis was constant. So even though you were increasing the light intensity, what happened? The rate of photosynthesis did not increase or did not decrease. Now here the rate of photosynthesis has become constant. Okay, that means the process of photosynthesis has become saturated. Okay, it has become constant. Why? Because after certain distance, okay, or after some times, apart from light intensity, there are other factors required for the process of photosynthesis, like amount of carbon dioxide or amount of water. Okay, so other factors or temperature. Okay, so other factors which were essential for the process of photosynthesis has become limited. Okay, has become limited. Okay, so you can understand from this graph. Here it is y-axis, okay, and here we have x-axis. On x-axis we have actually plotted light intensity, because light intensity was independent variable, and the rate of photosynthesis, or you can say the number of oxygen bubbles produced, is actually your dependent variable. Okay, so you can make out here, initially as the light intensity increased, the rate of photosynthesis also increased. Okay, but after certain point, what happened? The rate of photosynthesis has become saturated, or the graph levels off. Why? Because at this particular point, some other factor like the amount of carbon dioxide or amount of water present around the plant for the process of photosynthesis has become limiting factor. So limiting factor is always present in short supply or limited supply, and it actually restricts or it limits the process of photosynthesis. Okay, so remember, if any factor required for the process of photosynthesis is present even in plenty amount, the rate of photosynthesis increases only up to a certain point, because other factors, they become limiting factor. Okay, so this is how the light intensity affects the rate of photosynthesis, and this is the experiment which could be performed in laboratory in order to investigate the effect of light intensity on the rate of photosynthesis. So next video, I'll teach you how to demonstrate or how to investigate the effect of varying carbon dioxide concentration on the process of photosynthesis. Take care till then. Bye-bye.